So let's visit more American world history. We're going to focus on the Incan Native Indians. So the Incan Native Indians are one of the people groups that I'm writing on in my book concerning Black and biblical world history. It's essential to know that the Latin language derives from an Italian group arriving in 1000 BC. The Philistines, who became the Berbers, were pushed out of Canaan by King David in 1000 BC. The language was fully birthed in 753 BC, when the Israelites were sent into Europe in 722 BC. Old Latin was from the Etruscanian. Y'all, I have a speech impediment. Etruscan. There we go. Alphabet, which derives from Greek. The Greek derives from the Phoenician language in 900 BC. Hebrew is also from the ancient Phoenician. English derives from Germanic languages based on Latin, leading back to Phoenician. So we see that English, Greek, German, Phoenician, Hebrew, Aramaic are all birthed out of the ancient Phoenician languages found in Egypt. So in Hebrew, the letter shin, or the sh, can represent two distinctive sounds. The sh, or the th. It also can represent the s, but we're not talking about that right here, right? Which we'll throw that in there, the s, which would make it interchangeable with the semek, the other letter s. So the letter shin in Hebrew is going to be interchangeable with the tav, the th, as well as interchangeable with the semek, the letter s. Now, when we begin to look at the th, it is interchangeable with the letter t, or t, okay? So sh can render s, sh can render th, and th can render t. Th can also render h, and these letters can also render ch, okay? That's just some more extra G's. So the Inca went by a few names. One name being Tar Huntsar. Tar, T-A-R, denotes blackness, even in Hebrew. Hun in Hebrew literally means capital. The Huns are a nomadic militant people group. We know that the Hebrews are also a semi-nomadic people group. They are militant, right? And the Huns were fighting against the Roman Catholic Church, or the Byzantine Empire, from the 4th to the 6th century AD. The Israelites had been fighting against the Romans since 200 BC all the way up until 6th century AD. And we know in the 6th century AD, may peace be upon the Prophet Muhammad, he came and he placed the government, or Mizraim, or Egypt, on his shoulders. And so the Huns, these nomadic people group, which is one of the roots of the Tar Huntsar people, or the Inca people, they come from Central Asia into the Caucasus and Eastern Europe, okay? When we begin to look, Iran is considered as part of East Asia since the building of the man-made Suez Canal. Iran is ancient Mesopotamia, Babylon, as seen in Genesis 10. This is from whence the Hebrews immigrated. We see this in Genesis 12, lining up with 2181 BC in the time of the famine. Okay? So when we begin to look at Persia, Persia is included in these Central Asian people groups. The Persian language is going to bring us to the Aramaic language. Aram is the son of Shem. Shem name literally means Semitic, which is defined as Afro-Asiatic. The books of Esther, Nehemiah, Daniel, Isaiah, 1st Enoch, Ezra's, and Esdras 1 through 4 are written in Aramaic. In Esther, this is around 322 BC, she was able to blend in with the Persians. Remember, King Xerxes did not know she was an Israelite until she revealed herself. One branch of the Persians originated with Elam. Elam is the brother of Aram, going back to him being the son of Shem. So Elam is also the son of Shem, making him Afro-Asiatic. Another branch of the Persians come from Perez, or Paris. And this is the son of Judah and Tamar. And this is going to be very important for, we just going to sprinkle some in. When you begin to look at Perez's name, his name is Paris. This goes into the Paris, France, and the fact that the tribe of Judah is seen in France a lot. And when you begin to look at the Huguenots, my great 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 grandfather coming over from Ireland in 1848, John Hughes, he was classified as a mulatto in Ireland. This word mulatto is just depicting him as a black Israelite, okay? A Morisco, a person that was living in Spain, Portugal, or England during the Moorish or the Arabic rule of Muhammad, may peace be upon him. And so when you begin to look at the last name Hugh, it goes to the Huguenots in France. So it's quite possible that my Hugh ancestors were in France, Spain, Portugal, England, and ended up in Ireland as these Protestants protesting the Roman Catholic Church, line up on line, precept on precept. And when I begin to look at my Hugh ancestors' family crest, we will begin to see this red hand of Ulster. This red hand indeed goes back to the son Perez of Judah and Tamar, with him being the oldest, having the red string upon his hand. And then we will also see the Lion of Judah with these people groups, okay? So when we begin to look further into the book of Daniel, the Babylonians changed his name to Belshazzar, meaning lady, or Bel delivers the king. The suffix Azzar, which we have already linguistically began to say can be Assar, and the A is also linguistically related to the E, okay, with the I, E, I, O sounds, with the vowel indications. So Azar in Aramaic, which means to protect, is related to the Hebrew Azir, which means to deliver. This is also seen in the time of protection, coinciding with deliverance. This is what Hava, or Eve, was called in the garden, and the English poorly translates it to help me. When we began to see that the Shazar, Shazzar, and Belshazzar name, which was Aramaic, it can also be rendered as Thazzar, with the letters TH can become a T, which is yielding a Thazzar as Tzar. Now, when we began to look at the TZ, I'm going to type this in while this is fresh for me. TZ in Hebrew is Sadek. Okay, this is going to be righteousness, and this, or the just. And when we begin to look at Yeshu from the tribe of Judah, his father is known as Joseph the Just from the tribe of Judah. So this is also another lining up of these Hebraic people groups, specifically Judah, and we don't know if it's other ones, but Judah is where the kingship lies. Sorry, y'all, I have to put this in here because I'm gonna post this of Joseph. Okay, and so we know that this is leading to the AD times as well, with Yeshu being born 3 BC and ascending in 333 AD. So when we begin to look at Tsar, Tzar, this means emperor, ruler, or king. It's also essential to know that the root Sar or Sr in Hebrew means principality or prince. So you see how these words are related. Let me write this down. It means prince. It means ruler. Okay? So we'll repeat that. The Shazar, Shazzar, goes to the Thazzar, which goes into the Tzar, which means ruler or king in Russia and Siberia. And the Tz in Hebrew means Tzedek, righteous or just. And we know that Yeshu comes from his father Joseph the Just from the tribe of Judah. And when we also look into the just, the zealots were called just as well. The root zar, Sar in Hebrew, or Sr means prince or ruler. So the word czar in Russia and in Siberia comes from the Latin word Caesar. We've already rendered how Caesar comes out of the Phoenicians, so on and so forth, right? Caesar in Greek is Khazari, Kaisari, or Khazaros, or Khazar, Kaisar in Greek. Khazar, Kasar, appears in Eastern Europe, in the Caucasus, and Southern Eurasia in 650 AD to 965 AD. It's essential to know that in 1000 AD, then you see the Vikings, the Huns, these white people groups coming into the Americas that many people do not talk about, but they're not really white. They're just from Europe. So when we begin to see that some of these Khazar people joined the Hungarians. Let's break down the Hungarian name. We already said that Hun means nomadic. Gar in Hebrew literally means stranger, and Eon literally is Yochanan name. So these are still going to be remnants of those first century Israelites. How do we begin to denote this? Because these inscriptions of the Khazar or Khazar people leads back to the Roman Caesar dating between 200 AD to 651 AD. It's essential to know that before 200 AD, the scriptures were rendered, the New Testament, Aramaic, Hebrew, Coptic languages, and then the Greek ended up coming in the Old Persian text. So in the Old Persian text, there was a rendering of the Khazar, Kasar, who are also known as the Khazars, Khazar, and the Khazar, Qasar. And I'm almost positive that's a group of people. And let me see. If it's not, then I'll just continue to go on. Because this looks too familiar. I hate when my keyboard does that. Khazar. Yep. That does have to do with, there we go. So Khazar in Arabic, Qasr, means palace or castle. So this is still talking about rulership, leadership. Yep, it's a type of structure. Khazur, a resident from which power emits. Oh, and individuals can also be called Khazars. And this is going back into Alcatraz or Alcazar in the Arabian Peninsula, which is where the Italic language begins to come from, that Latin derives from. Hallel, Hallel, Hallel. Khazar is also in North Africa. Ksar, Qsar. This is founded by the Berbers in North Africa. Y'all, deriving from Latin. It's a Latin fortification. the walls, the camp, military fort. And so just like the Hungarians were known to be a branch of nomadic military people group. We gonna continue to line this up, okay? To see, are there any Israelites who were known to be a militant people group lining up with this? Let's see, okay? So these inscriptions lead back in the old Persian text to the Roman Caesar, the Khazar, leads back to the Roman Caesar of 200 AD all the way up to 651 AZ. So this still traces these people group back to the time of Daniel. Oh, this should say 200 BC, excuse me, to 651 AD, tracing this back. So when we begin to see in China, the Khazar, Qasar, was also called Gesar, Gesar. Let's see, because we already said that the Asar is also so this is going to lead us back to the Khazar, excuse me, which is going to take us to Palestine, to the Canaanite city, from where these Berber people group come from. It's also essential to know that this was allocated to the tribe of Judah as well. This is how we begin to break things down. So this was the border of the tribe of Ephraim. In cuneiform, this was the Gazari, Gazri. And it's important that the Chinese would definitely know who these people group are, because China in Hebrew is literally Sin. S-I-N. The Sinites name literally spells out China. So these Khazar, Qasar, Caesar, Khazarian people groups in China was the Khazar, which are the Gazir, which begins to identify them as a conglomerate of the Berbers, the Phoenician, and the tribes of Judah. The Khazar was actually the title for the chief of the tribe of Sajid, or the Sakari, Sikari. I am not making this up. This is what the Chinese began to call the Khazar, or the Khazars, or the Khazar. They began to identify them as the Sakari. The Sakari, Sicari, are Israelites, zealots. Judas in the New Testament was called Judas the Iscariot, Judas the Sakari. This goes back to 200 BC. That's the one that should be BC. When the Israelites were fighting against Rome. We see that the Hungarians are seen fighting against Rome. That the Khazars are seen fighting against Rome. So when we begin to look at the full name of these Inca people, Tar-Hunt-Zar, in Aramaic, Latin, German, Phoenician, whatever language you want to say, this is name literally means nomadic black crowned kings. This is the cause for the Siberian, Russian, and European DNA in native Indians. They migrated from these areas and were fleeing religious persecution and persecuting the Clovis branch of the native Indians, the Sakari, and the Black Kings, the original Khazars. And then we will see pictures of the Incas, who are known to be Black Kings, the tribe of Judah.